Hey guys, I'm a mindset coach. This is Beanie, and we're here to teach you everything you need to know in order to consciously create your desired life experience. This is the third video of the tiny little by Beanie of the tiny little series that evolves around core wounds. And in this video, we're going to talk about the wound of injustice. Yeah. So as per usual, how does it look like, feel like, taste like to be a person that has that wound? What are the indicators essentially? Well, the first one would be a very strong desire to better the world. All kinds of humanitarian work, all kinds of people that are involved in saving the planet, saving the environment, saving the humans, or saving the animals. That usually counts. Every person that works at a shelter, every person that works for Greenpeace, every person that helps homeless people out on the streets, they usually have that wound somehow, at least, even if it's like secondary or something like that. But this is like the strongest indicator. So if you are a person that suffers tremendously when, or has like not just suffers tremendously, but has a very strong emotional reaction when you witness some kind of injustice. And it doesn't even have to be like injustice in terms of the legal system, but just shit that seems unfair. Unnecessary suffering, essentially. When you witness this kind of stuff and you get triggered shitless and you get either super sad and depressed and kind of the world is shit, everybody is shit, everything sucks and I don't like this planet anymore, or you go super aggressive. Either ways, if you have some kind of drive in that direction or you notice reacting, struggling with these things, welcome to the club, because that's totally me. Still, this is the one wound, the only aspect of all of these wounds that I'm still working on and I'm still struggling with. The second I see an animal suffering, I wanna cry, and then I also want to kill the person that is responsible for that suffering. So yeah, welcome to the club. But that's not the only indicator, right? There are others. So for instance, having struggles with giving up control. In the sense of that even when you, let's say you have an assistant and you tell them, yo, take care of this and that, you then still feel the need to check up on it, and you still feel the need to maybe do it yourself because you somehow feel that if you do it yourself, not necessarily it's going to be better, but at least it's in your control. Micromanaging things is also a strong indicator, and when it comes to the whole manifestation game, shitload of you guys have that wound and a shitload of you guys are doing that. This being extra careful, double, triple, 100 times checking shit just to make sure is that correct like this? Is this like, should I do it like that? Should I, I'm not sure. Let me check again. I said this affirmation 100 million times already, but I'm not sure. Has my subconscious accepted it for now or not? Let me check just to be sure. I'm gonna add another 100 hours of repeating the same fucking affirmation, right? So this uncertainty when it comes to the need to give up control and the need to trust and the need to rely, and we struggle with that shit and we're like, yeah, but I want to check. If you struggle with seeing no movement and you've been working on yourself and you feel internally different, but you haven't seen jack shit on the outside, essentially, then most likely you have that thing going on because you want to make sure everything is right. So when you don't see anything and you cannot make sure that everything is right, when you don't have like the evidence or when you don't have anything to check in with because there is just nothing that you can see, well then shit, right? Then you struggle. So, but I feel you there. It's okay. It's fine. We're gonna get through this. Don't worry, okay? Another thing is being extremely massively sensitive to criticism. And when I say sensitive to criticism, I don't mean that you necessarily immediately turn into a wild Karen when you receive some form or kind of criticism, but I mean that you take it with you and you sit with it. So I don't mean that you are incapable of taking criticism. It's more that you become hyper aware of the area that you have been criticized in. So to give you a weirdo-ass example to make sure you understand what I mean by that, let's say in 4th grade, Timothy made fun of you because you eat your sandwich in a weird way. Now you're 40, you're married, you have 10 children, and every single time you bite into a sandwich, you feel weird about it because a part of your brain remembers Timothy pointing at you and being like, you're eating your sandwich weirdly. Stupid ass example, but I hope it conveys the message, right? So that is one thing. Taking everything personal. Taking whatever is happening in the world personal. Taking whatever somebody may be saying or doing on a personal level. So when somebody says, for instance, well, I don't have time, or hey, I changed my mind, or I can't make it today, let's reschedule, or I have to take a rain check, or whatever, you immediately look for the fault in yourself. Now, yes, everything and everyone is you pushed out, and generally speaking, yeah, you are like sort of responsible-ish for everything that you are seeing, because you see the stuff and you witness the stuff and you experience the stuff that your mind is calibrated towards, yeah. But that doesn't mean that you need to beat yourself up, right? If you have the wound of injustice, you feel shitty about that. So what else do we have? The worldview. That is like, that's a big one. People that have suffered injustice in their life have a tendency to have a very numb, kind of sad, kind of nothing matters anyways worldview. It's not that these people have zero passion or feelings, it's just that the suffering has been so big that at some point in time they kind of shut it off a little bit, or at least dialed it down enough to become sarcastic and to become a little bit selfish and to become a little bit like cold towards what's happening, because the second they open up their heart, the second they allow their emotions out, they would potentially explode. So that is one thing. So this cold kind of view on life, if you had that, I mean, I hope that most of you guys who are watching that are already over that point, because you are here, so you know you are a conscious creator and you are actually in fact in a position of power, which is amazing if you know that. But still, in the past, if you had that, then congratulations. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, that's also one that like, ooh, I feel like I'm describing myself with this one the most. Okay, so having issues with authority and with established hierarchies. Meaning you struggle at your job or career or school or college or wherever, not because you're bad at your job. In fact, most likely you are pretty damn amazing at your job because you are used to micromanaging everything and because you have everything under control. However, you struggle with authoritative figures, aka dumb fucks, who are in charge of the bigger picture, essentially. If you're working for a company, I know that was my biggest thing, and that's also the reason why I'm not working for anybody anymore, because I quite frankly can't do it. I'm incapable of working for other people, not with other people, but for other people. It's just like, no. You struggle with systems where somebody who has not proven to be more skillful, more advanced, or has better knowledge. So somebody that has not proven to you that they are deserving their position is in charge of making decisions over your head. Not so easy, right? So if you struggle with your boss a lot, or with colleagues, or with people who are ranking higher, then most likely there is something here. Established hierarchies is the same. It goes to the same when you go to social events and they are a little bit more on the fancy side, and all of a sudden you need to watch what you talk about, and you need to watch what steps you take, and you need to watch what kind of drinks you order. Then this is extremely stressful for you. Okay, so what else do we have here? So the last indicator that comes to my mind is struggling with laws and rules in general. Also human laws, the justice system. If you have a tendency to either following the rules super accurately because you're afraid of breaking them, or on the flip side, that would be me, you live your life a little bit more in the realms of illegal stuff because you feel more comfortable there, because you feel less restricted and more yourself there, because it makes you feel better. Both cases would make you feel better, right? It gives you a form of control and safety in the end. The fear that everything boils down to is the fear of the consequences. And now let's talk about where the shit is coming from. Well, you have suffered unjust treatment. A lot of unjust treatment in a childhood comes from cultural bullshit. Stuff like you are a girl and not a boy, you are second born and not first born, you are the youngest, or maybe you are the oldest and all of a sudden you need to take responsibility, and your little brother, your little siblings, whatever, they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? My light is about to go out here, wait. Another big, tremendously big reason for developing this wound is punishment, especially unfair punishment. In general, any kind of unfair behavior against you, towards you, that you had to endure in your childhood, especially if it was reoccurring. Like if you got punished once, then yeah, well, who gives a shit, right? But if something unfair happened over and over and over and over again, not the kind of punishment where your mother told you you're not supposed to leave the house after 6. You left the house after 6, you came back at 9, and then you got grounded. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like big ass punishment in terms of physical abuse, in terms of being ignorant, in terms of having things taken away from you as a form of punishment for absolutely no fucking reason. Just because your parents or your guardians or your, I don't know, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle could not deal with it, they were overwhelmed essentially. Whenever you got this kind of treatment, and it was repetitive, it's not just something that happened once, like a freak accident or something, it happened over and over again, and you started adapting this as your normal. This is the normal thing. This is how life is. Also, secondary unfair things. For instance, my dog, my puppy, was taken away from me or our dog, my brothers and my dog, our puppy was taken away from us and tortured when we didn't want to go to bed at an appropriate time. I don't know. Not by our parents, gotta say that though. Some other piece of shit took away our puppy and tortured it in order to make us go to bed and in order to make us shut up, essentially. So these kind of things, fucked up, unjust, unfair kind of things. Again, physical punishment, ignorance is a really big one, taking things away from you. Also inflicting fear, shit like when you are doing this or you're not doing that, then your mother will die. Or if you are doing this or not doing that, then somebody will come and cut off your tongue. Shit like that, essentially, right? So unjust treatment, unfair bullshit, but like really fucked up unfair bullshit. So I hope this helped. Again, this is the one wound that I personally am still working on, still working with. I'm not completely done with it in myself. So I feel ya. If you have that, high five. I feel ya. We're in the same boat. I hope this stuff helped you. I'm kind of sad that the kitties went away and they didn't show up again. But in the next one, which will be tomorrow, and which will be yet another one to explore and discover. So see you tomorrow. Love you all and bye.